up guys, it's Kalyn Sarai. And so for today's video, we're gonna get a little personal, just a tad bit personal. I'm gonna be talking about my freshman year of college experience. This is a very touchy subject for me just because I went through a lot. It is personal, so if you decide you don't want to get a taste of my personal life, then go ahead and exit this video. But if you do, then I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get started. So for those of you who didn't know, I attended Hampton University, which is located all the way in Virginia. I am a Cali girl, born and raised, and so it was very difficult moving to the other side of the country. I did not expect the transition and the adjustment to be as hard as it was, but it was pretty difficult. Luckily, I was able to attend college with my best friend Anaya. If you haven't seen my best friend tag with her, I'll definitely link it down below. It's a good laugh. I love her. Being able to go to college with her, it made the adjustment much easier than I know it would have been had I not gone to college with her, if that makes any type of sense. But it was still difficult. I thought that I was ready to leave home and to finally be on my own as an independent woman. Not really independent because I did kind of depend on my parents during college, but I thought that I was ready to finally test my wings and be on my own. Little did I know, I wasn't that ready. My first week being there, I was okay. I was lucky enough to have my mom and my sister fly me out to Virginia to help me move my stuff into my dorm room and make sure that I was settled in. And I also had my cousin to help. So that first week I was fine. Like, I had no worries. I was good. I feel like it was after they left when things just started spiraling out of control for me. But I'm a very private person on some level. I don't like to share feelings and things like that. I bottle it all inside. So I did what I do best. I slapped on a smile and called it a day. As time went on, the smile just wasn't enough for me, and I just was not having the best time. Within the first few weeks of me being there, I met a couple people who ended up being some really good friends and people who made my freshman year of college very memorable. Besides Anaya, there was Star, there was Brittany, and then there was Christina. They're very cool people, very, very cool people. We spent all our time together. We lived in the same dorm. We always ate together. Some of us had the same classes. We walked to classes together. We met up after class together. We were always together. We were inseparable. So that first month and a half, I was pretty straight, but I was experiencing some, like, escalation of depression, if I can word it that way. So about a month and a half in, I just lost it. I started to find myself slip away, and I started to forget who I was as a person. I just started becoming depressed. Just like many other universities, Hampton throws the most parties. Like, parties every weekend, sometimes during the weekday. There's always a party. And I think that's because we're literally surrounded by nothing. We're surrounded by water for the most part and not many things to do. And so as a result, people jump to the conclusion that we need to party because that's all we can do. My friends are like the party type. I, on the other hand, I like to go to a few parties here and there, but I'm not the one to go every single weekend. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'm gonna get bored, and most of the time nothing good can come out of them. Something always happens, and so that's just a lifestyle that I did not want to commit to. So majority of my weekends for the between maybe October and December were spent in my dorm room talking to my mom, talking to my sister, or watching YouTube videos. Basically, I was lonely almost every weekend. So on top of feeling lonely, I was missing my family, my friends from back home. I was in a whole new environment that I wasn't used to because Virginia is very, very different from California. So all those mixed together, I just became even more depressed. And so I started jumping to the conclusion that I did not want to come back next year, that I wanted to go back home, and that I would rather go to a college that is so common where I'm from. So I thought about it for about a week, wanting to leave. And after about a week, I called my mom and let my mom know that I didn't want to come back anymore. I wasn't happy, and this is not what I thought it would be like. My mom, she's very supportive, and although she was a little disappointed at first, she ended up supporting my decision 100% because she did want me to be happy. And so she told me that before I like fully commit to wanting to come back for the next year, to find something that makes me feel happy again. I didn't know what the heck she meant, so I kind of dusted it off and was like, man, what the fuck are you talking about? Not even like 2 days after that conversation with my mom, I was in my communications class and my teacher announced that he needed stagehands for the fall musical that we had, which was Little Shop of Horrors. And I was like, Mom, you never fail to amaze me. All the way from Cali, like, how did you see that this was coming? For those of you guys who don't know me personally, I love the theater. I have been performing pretty much my entire life, whether that be in ensembles, productions, anything, acting. Like, it's been a long ride for me. And so I was like, hey, I haven't even thought about, you know, joining the whole theatrical theater side of the school. I ended up signing up for working as a stagehand, but still by this point I was very, very depressed. I wasn't really walking into this opportunity with an open mind like I should have. I did meet a couple people. Shout out to my Stage Right crew. Oh, we were the best, just saying. There was Taylor, there was Jayla, there was Deja, and there are many more people, but that would just knock off this video if I named everybody, you know? I'm normally a very sociable person. I talk to anyone about anything and everything, and but during this experience I was just so checked out of Hampton that I was like, I'm not gonna give this a chance. I'm coming home. I don't want to build any more connections. I just want to finish off this year and leave. So I wasn't very sociable, which I highly regret. So after Little Shop of Horrors wrapped up, it was back to the same old routine. Shortly after I finished working for Little Shop of Horrors, I joined another production. And I'm not really sure how I found myself in it. Like, I think that I wanted so much to be myself again, and I was not feeling like myself, and so I knew that the theater would gradually start to bring me back. And so I became wrapped up in another production called Wild and Crazy. It was a great experience. I ended up doing the production with my close friend Star. I got a lot closer with her. She's just great. She's great. It's Star, you know? Besides Star, I did not really know a lot of people because I was a freshman, and I didn't know a lot of people in the cast, and so I didn't know what to expect. I did, on the other hand, know one person, and that was Taylor, who I worked Little Shop of Horrors with. And I didn't know her at the time, but like I knew of her, and I was like, But I did think that Taylor was a really cool person. When you work up with a cast, you start to get to know them, and you start to grow closer with them. They become like sort of like a little family to you. I don't remember it very well. I just remember being at rehearsal and I heard someone singing Cell Block Tango. And if you don't know what Cell Block Tango is, it's from the musical Chicago on Broadway, or it's like a movie too. But I was just like what? I found out that it was Taylor. My sister could vouch for me. Anaya could vouch for me. Anyone that I met in college that like lived in my dorm could vouch for me. I was that one person on the hall shouting show tunes from the top of my lungs. Like, I'd be in the shower singing Wicked. I'd be in my room doing Grease and Hairspray. Like, it was a thing for me. Being in the Wild and Crazy cast, I started to see signs of myself again. I grew closer with Taylor, grew closer with Star, and I just started feeling happy again. I started to feel like myself, and it was just so refreshing. I don't even know how to explain the feeling. So then it was Christmas break, and we only had 2 weeks of Christmas break before I had to go back to Virginia. And I just felt like it was way too short for me, like way too short. So my whole depression just came back. Christmas was pretty much one of my all-time lows. I had to come back to school after Christmas break, already upset. The show for Wild and Crazy was opening up in like a month. So I was just like, you know what, Kalyn, try to make the most of it. I realized that I was missing something in my life. I realized during practice that it was my faith. So I'm really into my faith, and then I realized, especially for the first semester, that his presence kind of left. Like, I know, like, he never leaves your side and everything, but I started not feeling his presence, but I did not realize that he left. At that moment in time, I couldn't remember the last time that I went to church. I couldn't answer that question. I couldn't answer the last time I picked up my Bible. I couldn't remember the last time I prayed. I didn't even realize that that was gone. Taylor was the one who brought that thought to my mind. I don't know what she was saying. I think she was singing a gospel song. Maybe she was praying. She's always doing something. I admire about her is that she's into her faith just as much as I am. But I realized at that point in time that I kind of forgot, you know, and I started falling out of a routine of praying and going to church and opening my Bible. So then towards like the end of January, beginning of February, I started this sort of spiritual journey where I went to chapel every Sunday. And if I didn't, sometimes I didn't make it to chapel because it was just a really intense morning for me to get up on Sundays. And so I would just stream church from my home. So I would always make sure that I was, you know, checked into church somehow on Sundays. I prayed a lot more than I normally do. I also started reading Bible scriptures, my favorite scriptures and everything. I think that's when I started really seeing myself again, and I started feeling like myself, and I was happy. So we wrapped up Wild and Crazy at the beginning of February, and that was probably my most memorable time at Hampton University, just because it brought back that theater aspect into my life. I met someone who helped me find myself, and I grew closer to someone that I would never have thought would be one of my closest friends from school. Very memorable, very memorable. Right after Wild and Crazy wrapped up, I jumped into another production, and this was Bots, Battle of the States. I'm not gonna go into too much detail about this because that would literally be a whole hour long, but basically, you battle people from different regions. So there's the West, the North, the Midwest, the South, and the DMV. Okay, 5 regions. I'm from the West, obviously, Cali, West Side, you know. That was very fun because I started to get to know more and more people who were from my region. By this point in time, I was happy, I was content, I felt like myself again. Towards the middle of the second semester, I met 3 more people that I ended up getting really close with. That was Bria, Essence, and Maya. I'm glad that I got the chance to spend that time with them that I did. So that was basically my freshman year. Very up and down. Once I started to find myself again and transition more into the woman that I wanted to be, I started seeing more in my friends that I didn't see before during first semester. For example, Star, she's very protective. And she cares so much, and that's something that I admire about her. She taught me to open up more. Literally, she didn't even teach me, she forced me. For her, I am forever grateful because just being able to talk to someone, you know, it's a good feeling. Brittany, she was always the person that I had my deep conversations with. We had the best conversations together, like literally. I think one of my favorite conversations with her was that one night we stayed up until like 3, 4 in the morning just talking on and on about Degrassi. Like, not the new Degrassi, but like the old school Degrassi, like with Emma and Manny and all that. So that was probably one of my favorite conversations with her. But we have the best conversations. Christina, we are similar in many ways, but different in a lot of ways as well. We both share a passion for makeup, as well as Brittany. Christina is just like the human computer for me. She always was loaded with all these facts. She would tell me when different makeup items would drop, like when they would soon be released. Like, she was that computer aspect, and it was great. And I can't really put words together to describe my gratitude towards her. Bria, she offered that security. Like, she was always very protective, and that's something that I liked. She wouldn't let anybody talk about you. If they did, she would always ask for them to square up. I always liked knowing that I had someone that cared so much. So Maya, she was kind of like that motherly figure, if we could call it that. She kind of served as that motherly, you know, figure, I guess, for me, because I was the mother. But when I met her, she kind of started serving as the mother, and you know, you lose that maternal guide because you're away from your family. But she brought that back, most definitely. Essence, you're just such a goofball. You're crazy. You're really cool to chill with. You're so funny. She was just someone that I went to whenever I needed to laugh. I'd mess with her. It was great. It was great. Taylor, I don't even know what words can describe my gratitude towards her, my gratefulness, everything, because she helped bring back the person that I wanted to be, and she helped me find what made me happy, and she kind of turned things around for me for the better, and I will always be grateful to her for that. Hampton is a place where you grow, and the thing that I like about Hampton is that we're all a family in some way, and there's no way that you can attend Hampton University without feeling like you belong somewhere. We rep everything at Hampton, whether that's your classification, your dorm, your background, your culture. We rep everything, and so you always find your little niche, and that's something that I like. I grew more as a woman, and I found myself, and I found my limits. At the end of the day, Hampton is your family. QTX here, QTX. It's always about quintessence. I will be attempting Hampton for the upcoming year. I realized that if I left Hampton, I would be making the biggest mistake of my life. Hampton is not your ordinary school. If you don't go to Hampton, it's really hard to understand, but it's so different. It's so close-knit. It's like you're meeting up with family that you never knew you had, and you guys just click instantly off. That was my freshman year of Hampton, of college experience. This is something I plan to look back on years on, and to see how I've grown as a person, and you know, I'm very excited for the upcoming year. Rooming with my really good friend Brittany. I'm so excited to room with you. I feel like our room will be super lit, and I'm just really excited to go back and see all my friends, live in the moment, because college is really only 4 years, 4 or 5 years. These are supposed to be the best years of your life. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give this video a thumbs up if you like my more personal videos like this. And until next time, bye guys.